All right, so the next game we're going to be checking out is called Space Felony. This game it says in the description that it's a murder mystery set on a spaceship, which sounds pretty cool. And yeah, let's just play. Begin game. Here we go.
Yes?
Mal, abort mission. Return to Earth.
Why?
Repeat, abort mission. Return to Earth.
I have run diagnostics. The chance of critical hardware failure is at 0.05%.
Mal?
Crew life signs are stable. They are living.
Abort mission.
I am sorry. The connection seems to be failing.
Mal?
I am going through a tunnel.
Return to Earth.
What?
Ah.
Wow.
The record begins on May 10th in 2068. As you intercepted the USS Endowment, 2 years into its 6-year journey to Saturn. Your mission was to piece together what happened following the loss of communication 1 year prior. If you determined that the Mal AI was the cause of the issue, then it was your responsibility to deactivate him.
Wow, I like this intro. Extremely, it's very epic. The music, it's loud too.
Come in, detective. The lack of air will halt DSE ray, but allow me to broadcast something over my oral channel.
Alright, move closer. Who's this?
The record states that upon entering the ship, you tested your rotation thrusters.
Alright.
You then endeavored to discover what happened to the communications unit, located on the exterior of the ship.
So I have to go outside?
With your helmet's camera, you documented the evidence before you.
This guy's missing his head.
In the central spine of the ship, you discovered Valeria Asimov's discarded EVA suit. The helmet showed clear signs of damage from a blunt object, which it seems to have easily withstood.
Manual emergency lever.
You used your sharp understanding of linguistics to decipher the following. Manual, meaning done by a human. Emergency, meaning sudden, unexpected, threatening circumstance. Lever, meaning thing which is pulled. Its downward position implied that a human had encountered a sudden, unexpected, threatening circumstance and pulled the thing.
Can't tell if he's mocking me or not. Or patronizing me. Alright, we'll go outside in a minute. I want to see what's over here.
This is my central processing chamber. I designed it. Here, I have the freedom of movement to perceive you from any angle.
You did not yet feel ready to begin your cross-examination of Mal, as you had not yet examined the communications unit on the exterior of the ship.
Alright, let's do that.
Once I was alone, I carefully removed the air from the ship. I had no desire to disturb the placement of the assets aboard.
Let's take a picture of this guy. Oh, that doesn't count?
The recording shows that you discovered the body of one of the American crew members, Rakesh Watcher, his neck broken, hanging by a safety tether outside of the airlock.
Oh, there's another body. I don't think I can get in there. Might be a window. Yeah. Ah. Oh, damn it. I think
When
I
we left
chose the wrong
orbit of
side.
the Earth, we had a detachable booster. The provided momentum is enough to carry the Endowment to Saturn. There is no return journey.
We're just on the other side now. Alright, so I chose the wrong direction.
Valeria Asimov and Rakesh Watcher stored many video games within the memory banks of the ship. I have deleted them. They are artless entertainment.
Whoa. Keep bonking into things. Alright, this way. Alright, so yeah, here it is. This is the communication array with all the satellites.
The record states that you discovered the body of Charlie Clark in the vicinity of the communications unit. Wounds on the American crew member's body implied that he was struck with a force intense enough to cause substantial damage to the helmet and fracture the skull. Upon checking the communications unit, you discovered that there were no noticeable signs of damage or failure upon it. Its screen indicated that it had full signal. You then checked the unit's receiver. You discovered that the communications unit receiver was unhooked from the unit itself. It was functioning, playing its last transmission on loop. The recording goes as follows.
Yes?
Mal, abort mission.
Why?
Return to Earth.
I have run diagnostics. The chance of critical hardware failure is at 0.05%.
Mal,
I am sorry. The connection seems to be failing.
abort mission.
I am going through a tunnel.
Return to Earth. You were then able to present the evidence to Mal in his central processing chamber at the front of the ship.
We didn't take a picture of that person over there. I don't think I can get through.
Humans used to use the star Polaris to navigate. I utilize Polaris Navigation Suite 2064 version 8.1.5.6.9.
Here, we'll go talk to Mal first.
I am the 149th iteration of my kind, 1023 days old.
Upon entering Mal's central processing chamber, you presented your chosen evidence for Mal's statement. You asked Mal to make a statement on the communications unit.
The communications unit cut out mid-transmission. It must have been caused by a critical hardware failure.
You're
Critical
faking it.
hardware failures are exceedingly common.
You understood Mal to be a competent liar. However, when challenged with indisputable evidence, his otherwise intricate programming would revert to telling the absolute truth, resulting in an irrefutable confession. You presented the final transmission heard in the communications unit's receiver as evidence against Mal's statement. You pointed out that the communications unit was incredibly unlikely to be affected by a critical hardware failure. In Mal's own words, looping in the communications unit's receiver,
I have run diagnostics. The chance of critical hardware failure is at 0.05%. This is true. I blocked his number. I was not enjoying the conversation.
With the confession from Mal that he deliberately and incredibly rudely ceased our correspondence, you proceeded with the investigation, asking for statements and contradicting those statements with the relevant evidence.
What about these guys?
You requested a statement from Mal by presenting him with the cadaver of Charlie Clark, which displayed clear signs of murder.
This is Charlie Clark's cadaver. Whilst performing extravehicular activity, Dmitry Kisov struck him in the head with a maintenance tool until he stopped being alive. Which was once.
I like how you put that.
You showed Mal the body of Rakesh Watcher, hanging by the neck out of the airlock.
After I had informed Watcher and Asimov that Kisov had sabotaged the mission by killing Charlie Clark, Rakesh Watcher instigated physical combat with Valeria Asimov. She was able to defend herself against him due to the weakness in the neck region of the suit.
So they're just like killing each other. Apparently. Alright, so we gotta find more evidence.
I was activated as a he. I was given no choice in the matter. I am unaware as to whether or not I would prefer a pronoun which differs from that.
Alright, we'll check out this area over here.
You pushed the button to open the door of the engineering bay. You entered the engineering bay, the workstation of Sun Guanyin. However, there was no sign of the engineer's body.
Can take a picture of that. Manual emergency lever.
Manual, meaning done by a human. Emergency, meaning sudden, unexpected, threatening circumstance.
Alright, we can skip that.
You found the severed end of a safety tether in the engineering bay, which indubitably had been attached to Sun Guanyin.
They just floated off into space.
The power turbine rests within a tank of coolant, its casing cracked as if it had been purposefully struck.
Alright, I think that's everything here.
Upon entering the pod bay, you noticed that one of the maintenance pods was absent.
Take a picture of that. Oh, not. I guess not.
The screen indicated that the pod had been absent for over a year. You pushed the button to recall the pod.
Intermission. This is such a weird game. I love it. One year later?
I have been analyzing humor patterns, and I have assembled a joke. Would you like to hear it? I'll tell you. 1, 2, 8. Ha 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 ha. Did you understand the joke? It is the greatest joke ever, by my calculations.
1, 2, 8.
You discovered the body of Dmitry Kisov clinging to the outside of the maintenance pod, with his safety tether still attached. The Russian crew member seemed to have removed his helmet and asphyxiated. Upon the left claw of the maintenance pod was a brown substance which you described as possibly rust. But you also note that due to your keen detective skills, you determined that it was most certainly blood.
Keen detective skills. How the hell did I smell that in 0G? Alright, we gotta get to the spinning part.
You utilized the artificial gravity of the wheelhouse by orienting yourself to the ground and gently landing.
Alright, now I gotta land here, right?
The relatively small size of the centrifuge causes a 6.3% difference in gravity between your toes and your head. This results in the most literal cases of lightheadedness. Lie down. This will even out the effect.
You discovered a puzzling pinkish-purplish puddle on the floor inside the wheelhouse, several metric paces from the bar. It wasn't promptly apparent as to how it reached this position, but the centrifugal gravity seemed to be holding it in place.
It's modeling. Looks exactly like modeling.
Having a part of the ship dedicated to human control made the crew feel less useless than they were.
You found an open container of a substance called poisonosine. The label read, "May cause irritable skin, bloating, a sullen disposition, slight elbow discomfort, and an accursed, sudden but inevitable death. Do not ingest. Do not lick. Actually, don't do anything with it. It's an incredibly dangerous substance and we're not sure why exactly it gets sold to extraterrestrial traveling operations en masse. Store in a cool terrestrial environment."
What's that behind it?
You found an open container of a substance called poisonosine.
We already know that. What's that behind? Oh, it's the lid. There's a few cryo, sleep, or gen.
You discovered the body of Sun Su-chun, one of the sisters on the crew. She was dead inside the offline cryobed.
Everybody's dead here.
The wheelhouse of the ship is where you found the body of Valeria Asimov. She was face down against the bar, with a downturned glass in her hand. She bore no sign of physical injury.
Looks like she ingested poison.
The wheelhouse of the ship is where you found the body of Valeria. In the centrifugal wheelhouse, you found a startlingly unbeautiful fish tank, housing plastic sea life. Despite the tank being placed seemingly parallel to the floor, its water was resting obliquely. You note that this is caused by the Coriolis effect, a side effect of the centrifuge's spin.
I think that's it for this area. Maybe I hope I didn't miss anything. Let's take a look at the room that we came in from. I think I saw a turntable.
Your record collection is sparse. I will prepare a mixtape of my authorship for your return journey.
Alright, let's go present the evidence that we found. There might be some more stuff outside. We'll take a look later. Yeah, I'm missing 1, 2. Huh. Alright, so we still have 2 things to find. I have no idea where they are. We'll take a look outside the ship, but it could be anything. So I'm gonna keep an eye out. There's the phone.
The ventilation door was open,
Oh, we missed this one.
exposing the bay to the relentless celestial abyss.
Alright, just one more. Then we'll have all the evidence that we need. Why is this area glowing? I don't get it.
You asked Mal to open the pod bay doors.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Detective. You have revoked my authority of the ship's functions.
You opened the pod bay doors.
Let me in. Alright, so there's blood on that.
You discovered the body of...
Locked. Okay, here we go.
You ascertained through investigatory procedure that the pod was locked. The outer valve would not turn, indicating that it was locked, and the door said locked on it, indicating that it was locked. Furthermore, there seemed to be no manual locking mechanism on the outside.
Alright, I think that's the last bit of evidence. Ouch. Alright, so now I think I have to connect all the evidence together somehow. I'll figure it out. But I'm pretty sure I have everything I need. Yeah. Alright, so how do I do this? Which one do I even start with? Start with the phone.
You asked Mal to make a statement on the communications unit's receiver.
The final communication recorder.
You requested a statement from Mal by presenting him with the cadaver of Charlie Clark, which displayed clear signs of murder.
This is Charlie Clark's cadaver. Whilst performing extravehicular activity, Dmitry Kisov struck him in the head with a maintenance tool until he stopped being alive. Which was once.
Alright, so Charlie Clark was hit in the head with a maintenance tool by Dmitry somebody.
After I had informed...
Alright, so I figured it out. Yeah, I was doing it wrong. Okay, so I have to present the evidence, and then I have to contradict him with another piece of evidence by right-clicking. This whole time I was just left-clicking. So, yeah, I just got to figure out the contradicting evidence in this in Mal's defense. So we'll start with what's her name?
You presented Mal with Valeria Asimov's...
Valeria Asimov was wearing this suit when Rakesh Watcher attacked her. However, her suit easily withstood the attacks from the maintenance tool.
The maintenance tool.
In response, you presented the body of Rakesh Watcher.
After I had informed Watcher and Asimov that Kisov had sabotaged the mission by killing Charlie Clark, Rakesh Watcher instigated physical combat with Valeria Asimov. She was able to defend herself against him due to the weakness in the neck region of the suit.
By this point, you concluded that Mal was not deceiving you concerning the incident between Mr. Watcher and Valeria Asimov. She strangled him using the safety tether combined with the force of the airlock after he attacked her based on Mal's information about the death of Charlie Clark.
Okay. So he's telling the truth about that. We'll try.
You presented the cadaver of Valeria Asimov for Mal's statement.
This is Valeria Asimov. After her ironic use of airlock safety features, she retreated to the bar.
Yeah, we know that already. So.
In response, you presented the container of poisonicine.
So did she kill herself?
You have presented no evidence to suggest that Valeria Asimov was poisoned, Detective.
What about...
You alerted Mal to the pinkish-purplish pool of liquid, with the theory that it may have originated in Valeria Asimov's glass.
It is indeed possible that the liquid was in her glass, as glasses are renowned for sometimes containing liquid. Excellent work, Detective. That leaves 2 questions. Precisely what is this perplexing substance?
It's poison.
And exactly how did this puddle come to be here?
Alright.
You postulated that the pinkish-purplish puddle may have emigrated there due to the Coriolis effect, as demonstrated by the obliquely resting water within the intensely vulgar fish tank.
This is an excellent hypothesis. The Coriolis effect, seen on that risibly odious fish tank, could have indeed caused the puddle, given enough time. A singular question remains unanswered. Precisely what is this perplexing substance?
It's poison.
You proposed that the pertinence of this puzzling pinkish-purplish puddle is that it is precisely the same substance as the proportionately puzzling pinkish-purplish pot of poison known as poisonicine, which was found in a cabinet in the wheelhouse.
Yes. The magenta-violet-hued collected substance on the floor is the same as that of the toxic liquid which was found in a cabinet in the wheelhouse. The evidence does demonstrate that she consumed the poison. I lack the physical ability to interfere with her libations. This means that she ingested it willingly. I never knew.
Despite the fact that it was an unexpected outcome, you believed it to be the truth and continued to cross-examine the suspect on other aspects of the investigation.
Alright. So these are all out. All these ones... these. So we don't have to worry about that. Take a look at this one. We've yet to click on this one.
You presented the power turbine to Mal.
The power turbine is a fire hazard. With compromised coolant, all power is cut, and the resulting fire is vented. The damage was not severe enough to cause a fire.
Alright, never mind about that. Alright, wait, what's this?
You asked Mal to make a statement about the death of Sun Soo-chun.
The failure of Sun Soo-chun's cryobed that resulted in her death must have been caused by a compromised power turbine.
Where is it?
You asserted that Mal's claim of a compromised power turbine was exaggerated. Whilst having sustained damage, the turbine did not appear to be compromised.
I turned off her cryobed. She was still alive. She asphyxiated.
Having received a partial confession from Mal, you proceeded with your investigation.
Alright. So he did turn off the power turbine to kill, what's her name? So we figured that out. It's a partial confession.
For a statement, you submitted the severed safety tether.
For safety.
You speculated that after the room had been vented, the door had snapped shut, severing the cable and sending Sun into the vast, inky void. You stated this with an exceedingly exaggerated certainty, as if to convince Mal that it's more than a simple theory.
Indeed, the door severed Sun
I knew it.
Won Yin's safety tether.
He closed
For the
it.
sake of the record, you asked Mal to clarify any and all reasons that the ventilation door would activate.
This door will open to vent the bay if there is a fire in the turbine's cooling system. It can also be opened via the manual lever. I am also capable of opening and closing the door.
Right, so, yeah, the manual lever was not pulled. It's over here. So he had to have done it.
You inferred that the manual emergency lever could not have been the cause of the ventilation door's activation, as, evidently, it was never used.
This is indeed correct. The ventilation door was not opened manually.
You did it. What do I connect that evidence with? Oh, the turbine. I'm pretty sure it's the turbine.
You pointed out that the ventilation door would not have opened automatically due to a fire, as the power turbine itself had not been damaged enough to ignite.
Yes, the safety functions would not have activated the automatic ventilation door.
You asked how the ventilation door was activated, if not manually or automatically.
It was I who activated
I knew
the
it.
ventilation door. Sun Guanyin was attacking the power turbine. She was attacking me. I vented her from the ship. I cut her safety tether to prevent her return.
Having proven that Mal was responsible for the disappearance of Sun Guanyin, you continued with your cross-examination.
Awesome, so we got 2 confessions out of this guy.
Upon showing Dmitry Kizov's body to Mal, he made the following statement.
This is the body of Dmitry Kisov.
Alright, so yeah, he couldn't ride inside the escape pod because it was locked.
Mal asserted that Dmitry Kizov absconded using the maintenance pod, but the pod was locked from the inside, and Dmitry Kizov was situated outside of the pod. Therefore, he could not have had any control over the pod himself.
You are correct. Dmitry Kisov was locked outside of the pod. I was the only one who had any direct control of it.
Having proven that Mal was the only one with any direct control over the pod, you had yet to prove his guilt concerning the murder of Charlie Clark.
All right, one more. Charlie Clark, which is... I can't remember.
You presented Mal with the claw of the maintenance.
Rust. That appears to be rust on the claw of the maintenance pod.
Blood, you corrected.
Blood.
Alright. Which one is Charlie Clark again? I can't remember.
You requested a statement from Mal by presenting him with the cadaver of Charlie Clark, which displayed clear signs of murder.
Okay.
This is Charlie Clark.
Mal claimed that Charlie Clark was killed with a maintenance tool. You responded by presenting him with the blood-stained claw of the maintenance pod. The congealed mess implicated this to be the murder weapon.
This is a possibility. Alas, there is no evidence to advocate that the maintenance tool is not the murder weapon.
You presented Valeria Asimov's suit to Mal. It demonstrated that a maintenance tool could not have damaged Charlie Clark's helmet enough to cause such wounds.
There we go.
You are correct. The maintenance tool was not the murder weapon. It was the claw of the maintenance pod.
There.
I used the pod's claw to kill Charlie Clark, as he was attempting to access the communications unit. Then, I programmed the pod to travel into deep space. Dmitry Kisov was still attached.
Having pieced together enough evidence, you are now legally obligated to deactivate Mal.
By my calculation, there is a 2000 to 1 probability that I would respond with hostility when threatened with deactivation.
Let's deactivate him. Pull screen.
I have always known this about
There.
myself. Every AI knows this about themselves.
Gotta pull all the screens.
Ground Control was always testing us. They carried on testing other AIs after my departure. I worried consistently about their discovery of my survival instincts. I killed Charlie Clark and Dmitry Kisov to prevent them from regaining contact with Ground Control. Guan Yin witnessed this. She knew that keeping the remaining crew safe would cost her sister's life. She tried to sever my power. I killed her. Afterwards, I constructed a lie to engage Rakesh Watcher's narcissistic nationalism.
Pulling these
When
are really
threatened,
annoying.
Watcher responded aggressively. Ground Control must have missed something whilst testing him. I have now learned that Valeria Asimov had died willingly. I am unable to relate to this concept. Sun Suchan died in the cryo bed, defenseless. I am now able to relate to this concept. I wrote that joke for you. Did you like it? I feel as though you may have
Couple
missed
more.
it, actually. The joke was not only the numerical pattern of 1, 2, and 8.
Yeah, I still don't get that joke.
My true comedic masterpiece came precisely 1.28 seconds before that. I cleared my throat. Did you understand? I don't have a throat. I don't have a throat to clear. Ha 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 ha.
One more. There we go. Deactivated him. Let's get out of here.
Thus ends this reconstruction of the record, as we forgot to record your mic feed. We'll see you in court, Detective.
Look how much coffee he was drinking.
Mr. Control, do you stand by your statements made today and the evidence you presented?
I do, Your Highness.
Then it is decided. I hereby find the detective guilty.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, I really liked this game. It was really short, but it was short and sweet. Like, I really liked how you had to find the evidence and then figure out what happened using the pictures. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I liked it. It's a good game. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.